Hello, everyone. Give me a quick hello when you pop on. I'm here with my doggie, Gracie. I'm trying to find the best possible location. And of course, all of my best laid plans went out the window. But the things we do as pet mamas and pet papas, let me know if you have any fur babies. So I didn't want to miss our time together to come to play. I'm trying to get Gracie in the shot here because she's a cutie. Let's see if I can get her over here. There we go. Maybe I have to hold the camera over here. She's camera shy. But I wanted to hop on and talk about this week ahead, about when to take action, when to plan, when to pause, when to rest, maybe when to pose. Because the great thing that I love about working with the stars and the planets is that it helps with timing, especially when we start to pay attention to where the moon is and what the moon is doing on a day-to-day basis. That really enables you the opportunity to set your daily rhythm. Now, hopefully, Gracie's panting is not too much. She gets a little anxious when we're in the car. So again, let me know if you can hear me. Good morning, Chrissy. Great to have you. I'm hoping I can see the comments as you pop on. But we're making do. We're making the best of the situation. So, week ahead, let's talk about it. It's definitely a review, a refine, a reassess kind of week. This is a week where we are post eclipse. We just had the lunar eclipse, and it was a doozy for me for sure. I definitely felt affected by it. Let me know too. Did you guys notice? Could you sleep well? Did you feel a little bit more emotional? Did you feel called to clean out closets, to release, to let go of things? This is now the place that we're in, a 2 week period between the full moon eclipse that we just had yesterday on Sunday, September 7th, and then the next one, which is going to be a new moon solar eclipse on September 21st. And I don't know what day of the week that is, but regardless, we are in kind of an odd period. It's sometimes astrologers consider it to be a feeling of like a vortex, maybe a little discombobulated, like what's going on. And as we look at the week ahead and where the moon is going, what it's doing, and the planet Mercury, which is all about communication, the way you're thinking, logic, processing, contracts, agreements, we want to be mindful. And here's what I encourage you and invite you to do. Let's just take it day by day. I have my notes with me because I'm not at my desk and I didn't want to miss anything important. But think of this week as a chance to close loops, to audit any systems, anything that you're offering out there in the world. It's not necessarily a time to start anything bright or brand new, but revisit old ideas, old collaborations, and start to think about, next year. What are you planning for 2026? What are some of the things you wish to accomplish? Especially because today on Monday, as the moon is in Pisces, when we wake up, you might discover that some of the dreams that you had, some of the wishes and hopes, you might realize, you know what? It's just really not working out like I hoped and I planned. So maybe I need to tweak something. Maybe I need to shift, or maybe I need to be willing to let go of that dream to make way for something new. That's one of the hardest things. But whenever you're in that period after a full moon, especially after an eclipse, and it's in, like we're in Virgo season, the sun's in Virgo. It's all about let's get efficient, effective, simplify. And if we need to let go, then we just need to invite our heart to pause and to take a moment to say, what might happen if I'm willing to make this space? Even if it's something as simple as clearing your desk or clearing your calendar and giving yourself some time to rest. So that's one of the big things this week I wanted to talk about. Now, let's just talk about day by day. So Monday, the moon is in Pisces. This is more of a daydreamy like quality. It's great for kind of, tuning into the dreams. And I kind of gave it away a couple moments ago where reassess. If a dream hasn't been working out, maybe it's time to say, okay, I'm willing to let go. I always think of that scene from Goonies where Sean Astin's character, he's in the well and he's like, this was my dream. I'm taking it back. I'm not gonna let it be here in the well anymore, in the wishing well. And it might be a day like that where you feel like, you know what, this just didn't pan out and it's okay. I'm going to kind of reabsorb that dream and allow it to become something else. So Monday, think about it as a day for creativity, brainstorming, journaling, kind of feeling into what you want to do next. What new dreams, if you let go of an old dream, what new dream might have the space to come in. All right, then as we get into Tuesday, Tuesday is an Aries moon. That's the just do it moon. This is an action day. So when we think about Tuesday, high energy, high momentum, tackle the things that really need bravery. So if you have to make a pitch, if you want to invite somebody, like you want to interview them, maybe you want to ask for that raise, or you want to have a conversation, something that requires you to just really dig into your courage. That Aries warrior energy can help you out. And again, with eclipses, because we're right between those two, there are things that happen, and I feel like her little panting might be a little bit too loud, but there are things that can happen with eclipses that they shake things out of our life that aren't serving our highest. So give yourself that opportunity to say, all right, if something's leaving, I'm going to just take that moment to ground and to realize something even better is on its way in. So Tuesday's Aries moon energy. Well, this is much more difficult in the car than I thought it would be. I had all this great setup and even practicing last night, I'm not getting the setup right. So I might have to re-record this video, but we'll see. So Wednesday the moon is in Aries, but here's the catch about Wednesday. It's a void moon almost the whole day long. It starts while we're asleep in the early hours of the morning, around 2 a.m. Eastern time, all the way until after 4 p.m. Eastern, so you can adjust for your time zone. But when the moon is in a void course of state, it just means it's not having a conversation with any other planet. And the moon really relies on those conversations to bring energy to the moment. And she's just chilling. She's like, I'm just going to rest. I'm going to kick back and release. So Wednesday isn't the day to take action, even though the moon's in Aries. What you might want to do instead is kind of think about one-on-one activities, release any pent-up energy with physical movement. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe it's a run. Get her little ears in there. But give yourself the opportunity to know that if you're not getting forward, if you're pushing on Wednesday, don't get upset, don't get frustrated, because if you keep pushing and you keep trying to do something, you might get more irritable. Wednesday, think of it as a chance to wrap up tasks, to tie up the loose ends, close the loops, audit systems, but not as a time to start anything new. Then, as we get into Thursday's energy, Thursday we have Taurus moon. So now the moon is about really being aware of, I'm going to say, feeding your spirit on a very physical level. Have a good meal, wear comfy clothes, do things that indulge your senses and really allow you to start to slow down. Taurus knows how to enjoy the good life. And the Taurus energy on Thursday, you might find that it's a great time to kind of talk about how you put yourself out there in the world. Maybe there's something about your physical self where you're like, you know what, I need to, I really want to wear, these kinds of earrings. I was seeing a really cute interview with a comedian who just got a new show, and she was asked about her large earrings she always wears. And she's like, oh, I just love those until I got a stylist. And they were like, oh, honey. So maybe we get some insight and information. Maybe we start wearing big earrings or shiny shoes. But, just kind of allow yourself to indulge your senses a little bit on Thursday. But Thursday, it's also ideal for receiving, or let me say it this way, looking at your marketing, looking at the way that you're showing up in the world, your personal brand maybe, and maybe saying, okay, this is a little outdated, or it's not in alignment with where I want to go. Great day for that. Friday, the moon is still in Taurus, but here's where Mercury is starting to get into the mix of it. So that planet of communication and thought and thinking. So on Thursday, Mercury has a conversation with, well, let me back up. Mercury on Wednesday has a conversation first with what's called the South Node, the part of us that we bring into life that really brings in mastery and skills. And it's saying, you know what? If I keep focusing on all the things that come easy, or if I keep holding on to physical items because it's comfortable, it's what I know, what can end up happening is we don't have an opportunity to grow or evolve. And when we don't have that opportunity to get the new skill sets, we might also find that we can't reach our goals and our dreams. Right, Gracie? She agrees. So Wednesday, I gotta look at my notes. See, I'm trying to remember by heart. Thursday is the day to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to let go of some of these old things, maybe some of the things in the comfort zone, to make room and way for the new skills that I need to invite my dream in. So then Friday, when that moon is in Taurus, it's a day for big picture thinking. It's a day to maybe say, all right, as I'm getting into the vision for 2026, maybe I have it as a planning day Friday. Maybe I talk to the people on my team, my employees, my contractors. Maybe I sketch some things out, but use it as a day to kind of take the moment to really say, how am I going to fund this dream? How am I going to bring it into being? We start with that big picture, and then we start to reverse engineer it. Then Saturday is an exciting day because Mercury is going to be in the heart of the sun. And what that simply means is that you get the extra brilliance of the sun, which is our identity, a psychological component. It can sometimes really represent you as the individual, so ego in a very healthy way. And it connects with communication and thought. Let's see if I can get Gracie in here. And with that holy cannoli, that's what I get for trying to be fancy. I brought up something else, another screen. When you're talking about, I'm not going to try to get Gracie in. No more being fancy for me. Mercury on Saturday, when it gets a big hug from the sun, it's a great day for ahas, for breakthrough moments, clarity. So if you felt kind of confused this week, especially on Monday and Wednesday, Monday when the moon is in Pisces, and Wednesday when it's a void course of moon, if your head has just kind of felt a little discombobulated, Saturday is the day for breakthroughs. So the groundwork that you do, like on Tuesday, when you have that just do it Aries action moon, and then Friday when the moon is in Taurus, and you're getting ready for that Mercury Cazimi, that take that time for big picture thinking, things should fall into place more so and more likely with Saturday. So take the time to do the groundwork. Clean off your desk this week. Think of like I've heard one person say it this way, which I love, like a big garage sale. What do you want to, if you could, whether it was figurative or literal, what would you sell in your house and let go of, so that you can make space for the new? What skills are you leaning on? And you're like, oh yeah, I know this so well. I don't need to update myself. Why do I need to learn this new piece of tech? I really don't use it. But soften and be open, because that's what the eclipses are really giving you the opportunity to do, is say, if there are dreams or ideas or plans that are outdated, now's the time to be willing to let go and release so that dreams can be actualized. But when dreams are actualized, it often calls for us, like 9.99% out of 10, what happens is we have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to do something brand new. Even if you brush your teeth with the other hand this week, that would be a good thing to do. All right, and then last but not least, Sunday, well, did I talk about the moon on Saturday? I don't think I did. Saturday, the moon's in Gemini, which is making the day even sweeter, because the Gemini energy, which is all about curiosity, questioning, wanting to look into something more, a little bit deeper, that like investigative journalist or researcher, is ruled by Mercury. So it's a great day Saturday for ahas and insights. Make sure you've got something to record your thoughts on Saturday. I will say that. Whether you've got a journal or the voice memo on your phone, capture those thoughts. That's going to be a really great day. Think of it as a download day, content creation, strategic writing. Maybe you want to plan launches for 2026 if you're an entrepreneur, or you're just kind of giving yourself that time for white space, for inspiration. Then Sunday, the moon's in Gemini, and it's a last quarter moon. So last quarter moons, I always like to use those for, I call them like forgiveness. It's really an opportunity to be kind to yourself and compassionate, especially when we're looking back at old actions we've taken, projects we've taken on, partnerships, plans. If anything hasn't gone according to the way we'd really hoped and wished, it's a day for saying, okay, I'm going to be kind to myself and know that in that moment I did the best that I possibly could with what I had on hand and with the environment of the moment, the energy of it. And that was it. I did the best I could. And I will continue to strive to do better. And I will learn from that moment. But if we stay stuck in the past and beating ourselves up about what happened, we won't be able to move forward. And we carry that hardness and bitterness in our heart, and it really makes things difficult. And so the Gemini moon on Sunday, think of it as a review day. Time to edit, refine, cut what's not working, and just have those honest conversations with yourself. So, quick little wrap up. I am making this quick because I've got to get good old Gracie to the vet. She needs a checkup. And thank you for being so accommodating and willing to meet me on the road like this. It's one of those things where, oh, you try to get different vet times and it just never works. You're like, wait, no, I can make this work. The things we do for our fur babies. But when to kind of like ask for something, like to make an ask or to negotiate, Friday, could be a potential. Mercury's talking with the planet of abundance and opportunity and prosperity. Timing is everything. So maybe leaning into the morning energy when it's a very grounded time. The moon will be in Taurus. Tuesday, when the moon is in Aries, is also a time to take action on things. Maybe, pitch someone, say, hey, I'd love to interview you on my podcast, or hey, I've got this great idea for a project. We bring it to our boss. Tuesday, that Aries moon. And it's just talking, right? So we're not trying to launch anything brand new because we're in that eclipse energy, but we're just kind of daydreaming a little bit in the sense of let me talk this out. Let's talk this through. We want to take advantage of Mercury. And then when to do the big picture strategy and visioning, that's Saturday when the moon is in Gemini and when Mercury is getting a big old hug from the sun. And let's see, what else did I say here? Thursday is great for reviewing SOPs, so like standard operating procedures. So if you have any systems that are set up, Virgo energy loves a good system or loves a good checklist. So create checklists for your life on Thursday. It's a great day to kind of say, where do I keep repeating myself? Where might I make it this easier? If I meal prepped on Sunday nights or Fridays, my week would go so much smoother. I wouldn't have to, spend so much time in the kitchen. Think of it like that. And then resting and pausing. Make sure you get that time to rest. Wednesday, we have a long void of moon. Take that time to rest, to journal, to meditate. Great for meditating. Monday, today, it might feel a little kind of sleepy, a little daydreamy. We might be a little bit melancholy with the moon in Pisces, but use that to tap into your creativity. There's a great John Denver song I love. Sometimes you feel like a sad song. Allow your feelings to come up, allow them to be processed. All right. So with that being said, the biggest thing, little spiritual practice I would encourage you to do is clean out a junk drawer, clean out your desk. If you have a little bit more ambition and time, clean out a closet or maybe a room. Let go of some of those things you've been holding on to. I hope you have an incredible, incredible week ahead. Thank you so much from Gracie and I. Let's see if I can get her in there. Oh, she's a good girl. I hope you have a wonderful week. Remember, trust your heart and follow your vibes. Follow your vibes and trust your heart. It's so much fun to have this time together. And I'll see you all next week. And let me know really quickly. I was going to pull cards in the card, but I knew that was a little too ambitious. So maybe we'll get together later this week and I could do a tarot party. If you're interested in me doing a tarot party, coming on live, reading for whoever jumps on, we can do it for a set amount of time. I'll read for as many people as I can. Just write, give me a little heart in the comments, and that way I know. All right, mwah, much love. I'll catch you on the flip side. And from Gracie and me to you, have a great week.